my point here is simple, that if you expect the marketplace to solve this problem, if you think we can just build our way out of it, if you think we can take northern South Park and just develop 1,000 houses and that'll bring prices down, that's not going to happen. Those houses will get snapped up by out of town investors, and they will not be affordable. They will not necessarily be workforce units. That's why it's important that we, as a government, take this moment, right? The moment of leverage is now, because once you give away the up zones, then it's too late. In my opinion, there are a number of things missing from this application. Most importantly, are those assurances of affordability. Now, it's important to keep in mind what we as a community, the value that we as a community are adding to this asset of the gills. And in exchange for that, the community must get assurances of affordability on some percentage of those properties. So while 65%, they've recently, about a month ago, they amended their application to include some deed restrictions. They call them covenant, some kind of covenant restriction. Their idea is to partner with local organizations like the hospital, the school district, other businesses and organizations, and pass the responsibility of the housing to those organizations, which is interesting, but it doesn't check the box of assurance of permanent affordability. Density is the key to this negotiation, in my opinion, because density allows two things to happen. One, to the benefit of the developer, which is bring more profit for them, right? That's what we're talking about, is density for them. Two, density allows us to develop more units. And we have a limited amount of land. The more dense we can build on that land, the more affordable we can make those units. So it plays to our affordability. It also plays to their profitability. So density to me is a very critical piece of this equation. Secondly, neighborhood plan deals with questions of infrastructure. When we're talking about infrastructure, we're talking about roads. In particular, the southern connector, connector is kind of a bad word right now, but basically you've got a number of acres running from north to south, and on the south we need a road. And my rule would be we build that road before any development happens. I don't want another tribal trails connector to happen where residents are upset about a road coming in. When we talk about infrastructure, we're talking about water needs. When we talk about infrastructure, we're talking about sewer needs. Town has said, this is a county parcel. It borders town. It's the perfect place to develop density in the county. But town has said, if you're not going to include us in the conversation, we're not going to guarantee connection to our sewer. If I were a town councilor, I would not put my foot in the ground like that. That's not, to me, that's not playing nice. And I might get some pushback on that from some of my town council friends. But to me, I've studied water quality in this election. And let me tell you, septic tanks in that zone are completely inappropriate and will continue to exacerbate our water quality issues. So town has the capacity. There's no question about that. In August, we were running 2.2 million gallons of water through our treatment plant. We have a capacity of 5 million. So I don't want to hear any complaints that we don't have the capacity. We absolutely do. We talk about infrastructure, we talk about transit. Those of you who know me know that I think transit's the key to solving climate change at a local level. So I'm not going to get deep into transit, but we have to make sure whatever plans come forward, they deal with transit. They talk about the need to park and ride lots and give folks access to an efficient, frequent START bus system. Finally, when you talk about neighborhood plan, two more things. One is the county doesn't really have the zoning tools to accomplish what we need to accomplish in this conversation. We have to develop those zoning tools. And fortunately, we can just take towns and modify those. For this is the 5.6 sub area, for those of you who aren't familiar with the parlance here. But we need to develop zoning tools. And finally, most importantly, we got to conserve some land in there. I think there's room in this conversation for conservation easements south of the property we're talking about now. I'm not making any hard commitments on that. but I think it is something that should be included in the negotiation.